Yeah, let's talk about this real quick. I don't want to be on here too long because you guys don't watch long videos, and that's fine. So, the Africans, I just put a short out talking about, a story with me dealing with the Africans as a contractor. And before people start going in on me about it, I want to get ahead of it and say that I've had very few good business dealings with Africans. The Africans is the one race that I don't want to deal with when it comes to business most of the time. Like when I know it's an African, I am not enthusiastic about negotiating with Africans. As a matter of fact, like what I do, flip appliances, there is one African, if he shows up, I won't even go through the motions with him. I won't negotiate with him. I won't even talk to him. I'll just get back in my car and turn around. Because, okay, so the story I was just talking about in the short I made happened like 3 days ago. I had a refrigerator that I reduced the price for because I wanted to get rid of it. Wasn't the best looking refrigerator, but it worked. The ice maker worked good. The freezer and fridge worked good. It worked. It was a good working refrigerator. So I lowered the price on it to, I think, like $100. Right? Damn good price. And this was a French door, big old French door. It wasn't that old. It just had some rust marks under to where, the water for when you put the cup in and the water drains into the cup. A lot of times water spills over and sets and starts rusting, and you can see where it starts rusting right when the water comes down because people are always going to get water and it overflows and it starts rusting. Happens all the time. It's just the way it is. Nonetheless, so I lowered the price on it. I was selling it for I think $250. I said, no, I'm just gonna get rid of it. I know it's not a good looking fridge, and I can't fix what's wrong with it. So when I brought the price down, I didn't want to go any cheaper. I actually had it for $150, and the guy was like, I'll give you $100 for it, yada yada yada. We negotiated a price, and then he said, can you deliver it? I said, well, delivery is, going to be like $60 because gas is $5 for gas for a gallon. And, when you drive into something that has a 15-gallon tank and you're pulling a fridge, gas isn't lasting long. I don't know what they're doing to the gas, but it does not last long. You can't even smell gas on gas now. Like there's no smell to the gasoline. So they're mixing it or not mixing it with ethanol or whatever it is. It's not gas anymore. It's something else, and it's draining through my two Chevys. So I don't even go to the gym as much anymore. I just don't do a lot anymore. So if you want me to get in my car and drive all the way across town, this guy lived all the way across town. All right, he lived on the west side. I live on the far east side. So there's no way I'm getting in that car, going down to get the thing loaded up, and then no, I'm not doing that for free. That's basically what he wanted. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I said, delivery is $60. Altogether, it's $160. It's a great deal. He's like, no, I'll give you $120. I said, no, it's $160. He doesn't reply. Then he's like, okay, when can you come? I said, once again, it's $160. So he agrees. I go out there all the way to the west side, sit there. Then I went and knocked on his door. He doesn't answer the door. I hear noise in the back. I drove around the back and I said, oh, they're in the back because I saw his kids. Went back around to the front, went into the gate and saw his little girl and said, hey, go get your dad. Bring your dad out. Long story short, dad comes out. He looks at the fridge. Him and the wife, they come out and they do the whole, that whole thing to try to get the price lower. And that doesn't work with me. Because if I already reduced the price of something, I don't care if you buy it or not. Somebody's going to buy it. What I really care now is I just drove to the other end of town. So, that's 30 bucks out. I'm out. I'm out 30 bucks already. So they're looking at it. They're talking in another language. That's another thing. I don't know what they're saying. And I'm almost to a point where I'm ready to leave. Then two more Africans show up. You know how they do, and that's fine. Because they show up, they're gonna help me get this big old heavy thing upstairs. We get it, into the house. Get it into the house, and I told him, I said that's 160. You know, he hands me 120, and I counted the money. I'm like, okay, that's 120. I said, listen, we agreed to 160. You owe me $40. So his friend grabs his phone and they're looking through the phone at the text messaging. He said, no, you agreed to 120. I said, keep scrolling down. I said, look, right there, I said 160. That's what I agreed to. So they're still looking at it. I said, what are you looking at? What are we doing? I said, you can take your money back and I'll take my fridge and be out. I'm like, I don't have time for this. So the friend talks to the guy I'm bringing it for in an African or whatever language you're speaking again. They're not speaking African, but they're speaking a language of the continent of Africa, whatever country they come from. I don't know what it is. Boom. He goes in the room, brings out $30 more. Hands it to me. He goes there, 140. He goes there, 150. The price was 160. And I get upset and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave, but I'm telling you guys, you do bad. See, that was the end. That's the end of my tether when it comes to Africans. Because 90% of the time, I have a bad experience with Africans. I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave. And I said, you guys do bad business. And that was just that. I said, I'm just going to leave. Because I could have just been like, threw the money at them and just, went and grabbed my refrigerator and got it out the house. But I don't like confrontation. I'm twice the size of these guys anyway, but I don't like confrontation. And if I go that route, like I'm going to enjoy beating the hell out of one of you. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. I said, you guys just do bad business. And I said, I'm going to leave. So his friend saw how upset I was and he said something to the other guy again. And then the guy goes in the room and brings me out the last $10. And I've been wanting to ask, what about me makes you think that you can disrespect me like this? I did. Sometime I think I need to whoop one of their asses just so they'll know not to keep doing this stupid stuff. But I'm a mild-mannered guy. I do not like confrontation. I don't. But I tower over most of these guys. And listen, I'm old. I ain't got time to be slugging it out with nobody over $10. But the constant disrespect, it irks me. And Africans are known for this. I was talking to another contractor today, and he said, yeah, man, the same thing. Like, I don't want to deal with Africans. He said they do the same thing. And he was telling me a story how they tried, how they gave him this, I don't know, they didn't want to give him the money he deserved. And there used to be African guy that lived out here. Everybody sees what I do. They see my truck. They ask me to help them in some kind of way. And I don't charge them a lot of money. If you're asking me to move stuff and do stuff for you, I'm going to charge you what I think it's going to cost me in gas and what it's going to cost me an hour. Usually it's pretty inexpensive. But see, once you find out that I'm inexpensive and you keep hiring me and then you tell your friends about me, I make money doing that. But what they did, because this guy asked me, he said, hey, can you move my refrigerator? Fine. Can you move my washer and dryer? Now, when the guy asked me to move his washer and dryer, African did. I was like, okay, he asked me to move it 20 minutes one way. Now, I calculate for gas and time, right? So I'm like, okay, this is how much it's going to cost, but I'm going to need a hand getting, the appliances in the door. For some reason, they don't like that. They think that I'm supposed to just, move these big refrigerators and all that on my own. I'm like, that's not how this goes. I might need a hand getting your stuff in your house. So his grandmother, well, his wife's mother's there with their, 3-year-old. I go in the house, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm getting, I'm setting everything up. I need a hand getting his washer and dryer in this small place, especially the washer because it's heavier. This guy, he's supposed to be giving me a hand, and when it comes to getting that, moving that stuff around, it just takes a little bit. It's just better with two people. What he does is he leaves. He didn't want to help me move it, so he jets. And then the grandmother comes out and see that he's gone, and she says, "Where did he go?" And I said, "I don't know." He said his friend called him, and yada. And I knew right there and then I wasn't coming back to his house. Now I had done 3 jobs for that guy, and I was like, I'm never coming back here. And his grandmother said he shouldn't have done that. She knew the defeat in my face. She looked at me and she was like, he should have never done that. And sure enough, he tried to come back out here and get me to fix the sink, but I won't do any more work for him. And his African friends were the same way. They wanted me to hang a TV, an 84-inch TV. I gave him a really good price. I think it was like $60 to hang that TV. I hung the TV and the entertainment set. The guy didn't want to pay me all the money I asked for. And I was like, I said, listen, we made an agreement, and I told you I didn't want to argue over money. And he didn't want to give me the $10 that he owed me. He gave me 50. I said, I'm not arguing with you guys. I'm not coming back out here. I didn't. And another one of his friends tried the same thing. I was like, I'm not dealing with you Africans no more. Not unless you come and buy something from me and pay me what I'm asking for. I'm not doing it. And I stopped that because I was, hanging their entertainment sets. The one guy asked me to bring a big ass 36-inch refrigerator into his home. The same guy with the washer and dryer. We had to take the damn refrigerator and tilt it over the counter because it couldn't fit in the door. It was just huge. I tried to tell him this fridge does not belong here. It doesn't. Anytime you have to tilt something over the counter just to get it in, I said this fridge doesn't belong here. You know what I mean? I can't do business when I automatically think there's going to be a problem because I don't like confrontation. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to argue with you. And when it comes to negotiating, if we agree on a price, especially if I'm delivering, if I come way out to where you're at, bring you the item, hoof it upstairs, and then get it in the house, and you don't give me all my money, look, I'm not coming back. Now, that particular guy a couple of days ago, I usually give warranties. I just went and cut him off. I cut him right off of Facebook. I just went and blocked his whole thing. And I know the fridge works good, but let's just say that he plugged it in and it didn't work. That's on him. That's $150 lost, or $160 lost. But I already knew the fridge worked because I don't get down like that. That's just horrible business. But nonetheless, when people buy from me, they also get to call me years later when there's an issue. They can call me first, and I'll see that they bought something from me, and I'll go ahead and try to either talk them through fixing it or fix it for an expensive price, usually a ham sandwich and gas. That's usually all I really charge people, not unless I gotta go in deep. Like a lady, a guy contacted me a week and a half ago. He said, "Listen, we got a refrigerator from you. I was one of the delivery guys. We picked it up from your house, got it to so-and-so's house." I said, "Yeah." He says, "My sister has a problem with her refrigerator. Can you come look at it?" I said, "Sure, I can. It costs you about $50 for me to come look at it." Do you know how cheap that is? For me to come and spend an hour or 2 hours to look at your fridge. You know how inexpensive that is? You can't get nobody in this town to come look at your fridge for $50. You can't do it. I told him, I said, you dealt with me before in some kind of way, so I usually don't charge, you people a lot. I get over there, I got to spend 2 hours His sister, who was a very, very nice person, these weren't African, they were regular black people. Very, very nice, intelligent woman. And I explained to her the ins and outs of the fridge and why her refrigerator wasn't working. And it usually is because of the plugs. A lot of you people have 120 plugs that are operating at 114, 115, 119, and then you have a big old Samsung and you're wondering why your Samsung is no longer freezing. That's why. The electricity coming into the Samsung cannot oscillate off of 114. And that's what was her case. It was like it's 114, it's not going to work. She had to run a extension cord all the way to her. It's almost an indoor patio because it was getting 119. That's closer, but it's still, you need 120 to 124. And then if it's still wired the wrong way and you got 124, actually I think 124 is too much. But if you got 124, you can still blow your refrigerator completely out. I've seen it happen. And if there's too much power going into your refrigerator, it's going to burn out one of your sensors. And once that goes, your freezer part is going to not function correctly. And that's what was happening to hers. She wasn't getting enough power. A lady before her was getting too much power. Boom. That lady before her blew up 4 refrigerators. I actually had sold her one. I had to take it back. She said it's not working. I went and got it, gave her $300 back. We got it to my house, looked and saw what was wrong with it. And then I fixed it. I showed her that I fixed it. She said, bring it back. I said, I'll bring it back, but I'm not coming back if you break it. I brought it back to her. I said, do not plug this refrigerator in without getting yourself a surge protector because you're getting 124 in all of your sockets and it's blowing out these refrigerators. Something's wrong with your electricity. Long story short is the Africans do not respect black people. I don't know why it is. I have no idea why it is, but they don't respect us. They look at me and they automatically think I'm going to rip this guy off. Listen, I don't have time to be fighting with you people, but that's what they think. I'm going to rip you off. I'm not going to pay you what you're asking for. That's it. That's what they think when they see you, because this has happened to me over and over. And what's really crazy is when it was happening to me, it was happening from the same group of people. They all knew each other. They were referring me to each other and then not giving me the money I'm asking for. And I told one guy, they all went to the same church too. And I told one guy, I said, you know how much it would cost for one of these white boys to come in here and do this? They're going to charge you $400. He wanted me to hang 3 TVs. The problem is, the church was built in the bottom of this old building, so the board was like it was like not cork board, but it was the walls were made out of that cheap plywood. And what happened was when I looked at the first TV, I was like, this thing is about to fall down. And so I took it out. I said, listen, you want to hang this big TV where this little TV was. I said, you can't do that. This TV weighs a certain amount and you can't even put holes in this anymore. That means I have to drill all new holes, take all new measurements. It's just, if I was just switching a TV out and putting another one in, that's different. But there was just too much work to be done. And when I looked at all of the holes, I was like, there's no way that I'm going to put these big TVs in here. And the TVs that you got here are all going to fall down. That's my biggest worry when it comes to, anybody's, when it comes to putting up a big old 64, 83, putting up one of the TVs, the TV falling down. If you don't have a stud, you can't drill into a stud. You should not put those TVs up. If it's a small one, maybe. But if you can't drill into a stud where there's wood back there or a cement stud, something, you can forget it. I won't do it. I won't do it because I know eventually it's going to come down. It's going to come down on somebody. So that's just my story when it comes to the Africans. Very few of them are easy to deal with, but I had one group that was from, I think they were from Ghana. These two guys from Ghana. They're the best experience I had with Africans. They were just great. They were just great. They saw a fridge that they wanted. They came down. They negotiated very well. And, they negotiated delivery and everything because they didn't have a truck. So I delivered it in the whole nine. I had to break that refrigerator down to get it into their back door. Really. I had to break it down and then set it back up. I did more work than what I expected to do. But because they were so nice, I didn't say anything about it. They were just nice guys. And, boom, they bought it. They were very grateful. They paid me exactly what we negotiated. And I haven't heard from them since, which is a good thing. Boom, that was done. So I'm just saying, I have a problem working with Africans. 90% of the time, I know there's going to be an issue. It's your boy Tom. I'm out.